will be at 7:40. Last night we counted 19 in the Omer. Tomorrow morning we'll be davening at 6:15. Now for a brief of our Torah. 6:10, excuse me. They're going to cut my pay now. Anyway, now for a brief of our Torah today, as we recognize it's Yom Ha'atzmaut. Something to think about. In this week's Parsha, it says, Tiyu Kodashim, and part of being holy, the Jew will be holy, part of being holy is to recognize when a miracle happens. Now, even though it might not seem like a miracle, we have to understand, there's a Rambam that says a miracle is when a gratuitous event happens that saves you. So in other words, it's something that seems natural, but we have to recognize Hashem's hand in the matter. That God is running the world, and that when things happen, it's because it's what's part of God's plan. And one of the amazing things of the Yom Ha'atzmaut, that the fact that the Soviet Union recognized Israel right away. The fact that the United States recognized Israel right away is one thing. But remember that Stalin hated Jews. If he had lived longer, he would have probably committed atrocities against the Jewish people that would have made Hitler's atrocities pale in comparison. But for a very brief period, he supported the establishment of the State of Israel, ordered Czechoslovakia to send planes and ammunition to Israel. And then a few months later, he was back to being anti-Jewish, to being an anti-Semite. So it sort of tells you something, that God was running the world. When Israel needed the ammunition from Czechoslovakia, they appeared. For those from Latin America, I believe the entire Air Force of Honduras managed to make its way to Israel. How that happened? Well, it was a miracle, but how that was, how that happened. We have to recognize through all this that it was God's hand in running these things, and that so that now the State of Israel is in existence. We take it for granted. We get on a plane, we go to Israel, no problem. Just getting on a plane and being able to go to Israel is in itself a miracle. So stop and think about it. Something to think about today. Kaddish Rabbanan.